A spacecraft is heading for Titan to pick up cargo crucial to humanity, but upon arrival at the destination, the crew encounters the mysterious death of the previous mission and tries to understand what really happened. In 2015, Earth scientists managed to modify a human embryo. 5 years later, these alterations gained commercial availability. Such children possess advanced intelligence and perfect appearance. In 2038, the first generation of genetically modified people grows up, named after the company that developed this method, Glen Crest Labs, GC. And 10 years later, the GC embark on a space flight caused by Earth's deteriorating climate on board the Teleios. As they approach Titan, the crew exits stasis and receives a message from Earth. The flight director, Nordum, hopes they will handle the mission brilliantly and promises to contact them later. Data from the past 3 years indicates increased methane levels and seismic activity, which, however, should not prevent the Teleios from docking with the target of their mission, the Atromitos. Soon they locate it and establish a remote connection, gaining access to the ship's log. The Atromitos stopped responding to calls 3 years ago. Apparently, the crew perished. The Teleios was dispatched to retrieve the substance that people had been mining on Titan for 2 years. This carbon-sequestering catalyst is extremely important for restoring Earth's atmosphere. Iris Duncan reviews the last messages from the captain of the Atromitos, in which he states that his crew is ready to return to Earth. But Orson expresses indignation, arguing that sending the GC to fix the screw-ups of these primitive idiots is simply ridiculous. However, the others do not support him. Moreover, the Atromitos is supposed to have a robot named Lulu on board, which will do all the dirty work. But first, they will have to extract her memory to find out exactly what happened in Titan's orbit. The life support system of the Atromitos turns out to be stable, but the captain's log features a disturbing entry about violence on board the ship. After some time, the Teleios docks with the Atromitos, and the crew boards it. Iris immediately notices that the ship's internal protocols have been altered, and they have to bypass the code to open the doors. Rock music blares inside, and they need to get to the bridge to shut it off. A robot approaches the team, and the GC shoot it, not knowing what to expect from it. Soon it becomes clear that the black box is missing, and the plants in the hydroponics bay have overgrown, turning the greenhouse into a jungle. It is there that Commander Linden finds the robot Lulu, who reports that there is a living crew member on board, Travis O'Neill. The GC find him in a cabin, but the man does not answer questions and appears neglected and out of his mind. The cargo container is also nowhere to be found. The tracking system has been disabled, so it's unclear where it went. Little is known about Travis himself. He's a junior engineer, no military training, and an average academic background. He shows signs of mild malnutrition and appears to have slept and bathed very little. He does not respond to Linden's questions. Commander Linden then assigns Iris to get the astronaut talking, given that she has a degree in psychology. In the meantime, the doctor discovers that Lulu's memory is completely erased. Meanwhile, sparks of interest begin to fly between Chris and Emma, even though personal relationships among crew members are not encouraged. Later, Iris tries to get Travis to talk. She senses that something terrible happened here and sympathizes with the astronaut who lost so many close people and was left in isolation with a robot. Suddenly, Travis reacts to Lulu's name. The astronauts notice that the android has sexual characteristics, even though that's normally not done with robots. It turns out Travis did it himself. Iris suggests allowing Lulu access to Travis to see if his behavior changes. But at that moment, he escapes from the cabin, taking the doctor's rifle with him. Armed, Iris moves around the ship and finds herself in Travis's sights in the cargo hold. Linden comes to her rescue, reminding Travis that the rifle responds to a fingerprint, so he won't be able to fire it. Meanwhile, Emma and Chris find files in the ship's internal database showing brutal fights between combat robots. Chris notes that ordinary humans still harbor a primitive thirst for cruelty, so it's not surprising that the crew went insane. Later, Iris remembers the paintings on the walls of the cargo hold and realizes that Travis wanted her to pay attention to them specifically. They let Lulu in to see Travis and watch as he whispers something to her in Chinese, then kisses the robot. Iris steps out into the corridor, where she meets the doctor, who does not remember why he came there. She is stunned, since the GC have perfect memory, and Iris herself notices that her hand is starting to tremble. She asks Lulu to translate the phrase Travis said to her. Lulu explains that the man confessed that even though they can't be together all the time, in his thoughts, he is always by her side. Iris goes to Travis again to express her surprise about his relationship with Lulu, since she's a machine. He seems offended by that remark. The astronauts realize that they have only one chance to find out where the cargo is, get Travis to talk. The doctor suggests using physical force. Later, Emma asks Chris to fix the shower in her cabin, and when he arrives, they become intimate. Meanwhile, Iris examines the discovered video recordings and finds that Travis also speaks Russian. Suddenly, the ship shudders, and the external door of the cargo hold opens by itself. Lyndon and Chris rush there, which Emma reacts to very emotionally, unusual for the GC. Meanwhile, the men manage to close the doors and return to the living quarters, but Chris has suffered from hypoxia, and the doctor says he needs time to recover. And then he suddenly realizes he cannot remember exactly how long that should take. Lyndon is stunned that primitive instincts have taken over the minds of the GC and decides to act firmly. Later, Iris points out to Emma that Travis studied Chinese and Russian. Moreover, he read Tolstoy. Emma confesses that her mother is from eastern Ukraine and that she grew up memorizing entire sections of War and Peace. Then she suddenly starts a conversation about the meaning of existence, surprising Iris once again. Meanwhile, communication with Earth is fully restored, and the team is once again reminded of their mission objective: to locate and return the cargo. Everything else is secondary. Lyndon notices Emma's overly emotional behavior and orders her to undergo a medical examination. When Emma leaves, the commander urges Chris to pull himself together, to which Chris replies that his own aggression has sharply increased. However, the doctor finds no abnormalities in Emma. Meanwhile, Iris discovers a journal entry in which the previous crew argued about the cargo, believing they should dispose of it. She realizes the ship was deliberately moved closer to Titan's atmosphere before the arrival of the Teleios. She suspects the container doesn't hold what they've been told. Iris goes into the corridor and, switching the lights to ultraviolet, sees chemical formulas on the walls showing water-based compounds reacting with a foreign substance. In the cargo hold, Travis wasn't aiming at her, but at the panel behind her, where the water filtration systems are located. Whatever this substance is, it adversely affects water. The cargo is likely harmful to humans, but Lyndon doesn't believe her conclusions. Nevertheless, Travis begins speaking with Iris. Their ship, the Teleios, means perfect in Greek and was named after its flawless crew. He believes their true purpose is to destroy imperfect humans. At the same time, Chris suggests that the cargo might have been pulled into Titan's atmosphere, and they could try locating it by its coordinates. Lyndon then orders the doctor to begin torturing Lulu. While Iris demands Travis reveal the cargo's location, the doctor dismembers the robot in front of him. When it comes to Lulu's final essential function, Travis breaks down, gives them the cargo's tracking codes, and begs to be allowed to repair Lulu. Lyndon rushes to Emma's cabin and drags Chris out, urging him to focus on the mission. Later, at the given coordinates, the GC discover a rectangular object made of an alloy. Lyndon and Chris prepare for a retrieval flight. Meanwhile, Travis reveals to Iris that he tried to forget what happened, threw out the cargo and the crew's bodies, and erased all ship data, including Lulu's memory, but he couldn't erase his own memories. He repeatedly portrayed death and massacre, seeing a reflection of the events aboard the ship everywhere. Back then, they were celebrating their imminent return home. Suddenly, one astronaut started choking. It turned out that a drop of the substance they'd mined on Titan had contaminated the water, making it lethal. They contacted Earth to report the danger, but Nordum abruptly revealed that there was a water filtration system in the cargo hold designed specifically against this substance, patented by Glencrest Labs. They had known the purpose of the Atromitos' mission all along. Opinions were divided. Travis remained silent as those who opposed bringing the substance back to Earth were killed by those eager for profit. Eventually, Travis killed the remaining survivors one by one. Those who created the genetically perfect GC wanted to exterminate ordinary humanity. Iris leaves while Travis repairs Lulu. At this moment, the crew receives one final message from Nordum, who admits he knows about the emotions and feelings overtaking them. Their DNA contained a special protective code, but it mutated, causing irreversible consequences. Now on Earth, GC people hunt ordinary humans for their blood, which temporarily allows them to maintain control, but soon they'll all lose their sanity. The connection breaks, and the GC realize their only chance for survival is to replace their blood with Travis's, hoping Earth will find a cure by the time they return, but this would inevitably kill him. Chris and Lyndon soon return with the cargo. After debating, everyone agrees they must take Travis's blood, as it's their only chance of survival. The doctor begins the process. However, Emma insists the doctor plans to kill them all because she saw his tablet containing quotes from Sun Tzu. Iris suddenly realizes the crew wasn't killed by Travis, but by Lulu. The GC rushed to the medical bay just as the robot kills the doctor. Finding his body, the GC search the ship, and in one of the corridors, Emma unexpectedly confesses her love to Chris. As he hesitates, unsure how to respond, Lulu kills Emma. Chris follows the robot's trail, confronts her in the cargo hold, and after a fierce fight, Lulu kills him. Meanwhile, Travis tracks down Iris and shoots her, but is caught by Lyndon. Lulu arrives to rescue him, and a wounded Iris shoots the robot. Lulu burns out from the discharge. Lyndon holds Travis as Iris prepares an injection. When the commander urges her to hurry, Iris approaches and injects Lyndon instead. As Lyndon dies, Iris confesses to Travis that she is a first-generation GC. They had a 97% success rate. She was part of the remaining 3%. Due to emotional instability, she was deemed defective and discarded. However, she'd learned to control her behavior, so the DNA mutation didn't affect her like the others. She doesn't want to kill Travis because he said he didn't physically modify Lulu, meaning Lulu added sexual characteristics herself to feel closer to him. Iris suggests Travis take Lulu and return to Earth aboard the Teleos. She will remain behind, fearing she could lose control and become dangerous. She asks Travis to tell humanity what happened here, in Titan's orbit. The Teleos heads toward Earth, while Iris commands a full course toward Titan. A drawn-out psychological mess. Genetic modification, space travel, romance with a robot, crew conflicts. Completely unclear what exactly the director intended to convey to the viewer.